When you think luxury, you imagine Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Mercedes-Maybach. These are cars you don't drive, you get driven in them. The new generation of Maybach is quite different from the last. Gone is the gaudy two-tone machine that Maybach music loved so much. In its place is a more reasonably priced, classy, more mature vehicle. It only costs one house instead of two. The original MSRP of the Maybach 57S back in the early 2000s was over $300,000. Now, with the S600 Maybach, it starts at a cheap, peasantly 190 grand. From the outside, it's hard to tell that there's anything out of the ordinary, but like a Patek Philippe wristwatch, it's those in the know that appreciate the subtleties. The front and rear of the Maybach look identical to something like an S600 or an S550. However, when you see it from the side, everything changes. This vehicle is 8 inches longer than the S550, you've got different wheels, you've got a V12 badge that lets you know something special is under the hood, and of course, you've got the Maybach insignia. Interestingly enough, over the long hood is a Mercedes logo. In fact, in the driver's seat, it actually appears to be no different than an S550 that's spec'd very highly. Under the hood lies a twin-turbo 6-liter V12, making 523 horsepower and 612 pound-feet of torque. Chances are, if you're riding in this car, you're going to have a chauffeur, of course. You're not going to be experiencing all that power all the time, but what makes it so brilliant is how smooth the power delivery is. When you step on the gas, the initial acceleration is much smoother than the twin-turbocharged V8 in the S550. The start-stop feels smoother as well, and when you floor it, it actually has a beautiful intrusion into the cabin of that silky smooth V12. The real magic, however, is in the rear seats. Remember, you won't be driving this car likely, so factor in an extra $50,000 or $100,000 for a chauffeur. The design is so beautiful and this car is so comfortable to be in. Mercedes actually claims that the rear cabin is the quietest of any vehicle on the road, and I believe it. It even outshines Bentley and Rolls-Royce in terms of its design language in the back. Of course, it's nowhere near as customizable as the bespoke Rolls-Royce Phantom or even the Ghost. However, you're paying way less money. The rear seat experience is absolutely breathtaking. This is like flying in first class on your own private jet, but on the road. You've got an incredible amount of controls, from moving your seat forward and back to recline. You've even got a footrest here to bring your legs up, and in the right seat you can actually click this button that makes you lay down almost like you're in a first class cabin in an airplane, moves the front seat all the way up and gives you an extra footrest in case you are a little bit taller than I am and you can actually reach it. You've also got controls for the rear sunshade and as well as the sunroof. You can control the passenger's shade as well as your own, of course. It's incredible what the rear seat experience has to offer. You've got two screens in the back that can either be linked together to watch the same movie or disconnected so you can watch something else from each other. You've got an incredible amount of controls from the screens as well. Same with the remote that comes with the car. You're able to change the climate control settings, you're able to change the color, the intensity of your rear seat massage, and even more. Now, this car does not come with it, although I recommend this option. For $1,900, you get the executive rear seat package. For $1,900, it seems actually like a steal. Instead of having this movable center console, it's one giant piece that continues up to the front, making it look incredible, and you've got two captain's chairs. Although you forego the usefulness of this middle seat area, I think it's highly worth it. You also get with that heated and cooled cup holders, so you can keep your champagne or your beer cold, although you shouldn't be drinking on the road anyways. In place of this empty box here, you can also opt for a refrigerator, as well as get $3,000 custom champagne flutes so you can drink in full luxury. In the back, you've got access to two USB ports as well as VGI inputs. You've got heated and cooled rear seats as well. You've even got an outlet in the bottom over there, as well as a cigarette lighter, and you can insert a CD. You've got full climate control. It's 4 ways, so you can have your corner of the car exactly the way you want it. You've also got quilted vanity mirrors if you want to look at yourself and examine how rich you are. The rear seat center console also comes with tray tables. They slide out, also like a private jet, and you can work on your laptop or play a game of chess and sip tea with your passenger. This is absolutely the place you want to be in the Maybach, and it's the most comfortable, serene rear seat experience I've ever seen. Let's take a moment to appreciate the sound system. What is a more than $6,000 option on the S550 is standard here on the Maybach. 24 speakers and 1,540 watts of auditory bliss. This is the best in-car audio system I have ever experienced. And the great part is you don't even have to turn it on and listen to music to enjoy it. You've got an absolutely gorgeous roof-mounted speaker. You've even got rotating and illuminating tweeters in the A-pillars that you could just stare at all day. So what's it like to actually drive? Well, I've never driven a Cloud, but I imagine it's quite similar. Compared to the S550, it feels a bit bigger, but for a car that's 214.5 inches long, it actually does pretty well on the road. Of course, parking it will be horrible, but that is what your chauffeur or the valet is for. The power delivery is seamlessly smooth, and when you do mash the throttle, ooh, it has a ridiculous amount of torque that thrusts you forward. I can't imagine what that acceleration feels like in the back seats. You've got different suspension modes, Sport and Comfort. Sport firms it up and also tightens the steering as well. Comfort mode is just absolutely incredible how it rides over bumps. Michigan roads are terrible, and you wouldn't even know that if you drove a Maybach. Mercedes has stepped up their game big time with the S-Class, and the S600 Maybach is the pinnacle of the S-Class's luxury. Now for 2017, you've also got an S550 Maybach that starts at a lower $166,000 and comes with all-wheel drive. It doesn't have that brilliant V12, but for people who don't need that extra power, the S550 Maybach might do the trick. It's a throne on wheels that's $100,000 less than a Rolls-Royce Ghost. Time to go buy some lottery tickets because I'm in love. Special thanks to Grand Blanc Motor Cars in Grand Blanc, Michigan for making this review possible. This car is for sale there now, so go and check it out. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.